Mic'd up.
Welcome everybody to On the Tee Florida is Mic'd Up. I am John Rager, PGA broadcaster, and your host of this segment called Wild Bill's Golf Weather, coming to you from the Sea Dog Brewing Company St. Augustine studio. This week, the PGA Tour comes to Houston for the Texas Children's Open. Let's hear from Wild Bill Storoe for this week's Golf Weather Report.
Woohoo! How are we doing there, Coach? This week's
Hey,
weather.
we're doing great.
Yep, we're doing wonderful here. Weather's been beautiful. Obviously, you can see it's nice and sunny out here, a little breezy. And I think we're about mid-80s here, which is going to be very similar to the weather that we're going to see out in Houston this week. This week's weather in Houston looks to be wonderful for those that are attending and playing in the Texas Children's Houston Open at Memorial Park Golf Course in Houston, Texas. As the PGA starts its Texas tour before the Masters in early April. Remember now that the Memorial Park Golf Course is designed to withstand harsh Texas environment with overseeded Bermuda grass everywhere, kind of like my yard out here. There's Bermuda on the fairways, there's Bermuda in the rough, and there's even Bermuda on the greens. They use Bermuda grass here because Bermuda is drought resistant and flood resistant. It's heat tolerant and moisture tolerant. Bermuda can tolerate the extreme weather that Houston, Texas has to offer all year round. With that being said, the greens are going to be fast this week, John, with the temperatures ranging between 75 and 86 degrees all week long. There's going to be sustaining winds ranging between 10 and 15 miles an hour, with gusts even higher, believe it or not. There appears to be little chance of rain, and it's pretty much going to be sunny the entire week, just like we've got here. Remember, look out the window. The wind is really going to dry this Bermuda greens out. And with those fast rolling balls on the dried out greens and the tightly, closely mown surrounding runoff areas for water mitigation at this course, it's going to be challenging to keep that golf ball on the putting surface. It's going to be an interesting week here at the Texas Children's Houston Open there, John.
Well, that was wonderful. I don't know if the Chamber of Commerce wrote that or not. You made it sound like it's going to be treacherous conditions. That looks like a pleasure cruise. It's going to be nice. You might have a little wind here and there, but should be some low scores this week. Hey, for our viewers out there on the Tee Florida, just want to talk a little bit about something that's special. We wanted to slip into the Wild Bill's Golf Weather Report, and it has to do with backyard golf. The Backyard Golf Association. Bill, I understand that you're the founder of the Backyard Golf Association. I've had the benefit to be coming to your backyard in the past, and even during the COVID, and being able to play this golf course that you've got spread out on about 12, 15 acres back there. But for viewers out there, tell us about backyard golf and how you developed it.
Well, the Backyard Golf Association, which I developed, was sprung out of COVID, believe it or not. I've got 4 kids playing golf, and when they closed everything up for a period of time, I had to keep my kids practicing. So I went out and sunk 6 holes in the backyard. I got a dog leg left, dog leg right. We had sand out here. We even have a driving range where we can go up to 400 yards. If you can hit it that far with the winds, you might be able to. The holes that we used are 9-inch plastic pots. Now, you might say, why did I use 9-inch plastic pots? Because I don't have greens. So when the greens come down to mowing the grass down, really, really, really short. All right. And just like Houston, there's a lot of Bermuda here. And Bermuda, if not mowed properly, can get really, really tall. And sometimes we'll let it grow tall so it'll reseed itself. That's why they call it overseeded Bermuda, believe it or not, because it's constantly reseeding. But to reseed, you got to let it grow for a month. And at that point, you got stalks that are like, 2 feet tall. So when we're ready to go, we cut it down, and I have a mower down that we tighten the fairways or tighten the greens up really tight. But you are putting in the backyard. Okay, I told my kids that they would have to suffer with the putting here because I wasn't going to make 6 greens because that could be very, very, very pricey. So we ran golf tournaments here during COVID, believe it or not, and we were broadcasting them live on Facebook. The people were actually betting on it. I think it was the only live sports going on during that COVID period of time.
Yeah, that was wonderful. In fact, now there's a backyard golf cart behind you. Why don't you give us a little tour of the cart? Because I understand you got to carry clubs in the back. There might be a few beverages that you carry. But this isn't a normal golf cart. This is a backyard golf cart.
This is a Kubota RTV 500. Does 23 miles an hour. It can go over any sort of surface. They use this to pull the ATVs out during those competitions when they get stuck, believe it or not. This thing can haul an extreme amount of weight. We put our golf clubs back here, beverage cart there. All our accessories hang from the cage, and it drives around. They won't let me take it on a golf course though, because it makes too much noise.
Well, now, while you're out playing backyard golf, do you ever get a chance to shoot anything? I mean, you look at that camouflage on the Kubota there. Must be some wild game out there.
There is some wild game here, John, and I personally am not going to talk about my shooting here because I'm in a gated community,
Well,
but I do use a
that's
suppressor.
important. Definitely. Well, Bill, to play backyard golf, it's interesting because I noticed that when you get everything seeded out and grown out in the summer, you closely mow that grass.
It gets
It's actually
pretty good.
there are golf courses in Florida. I won't mention any names, but there's some golf courses in Florida that aren't as good a shape as your backyard, just mowing the grass down.
That is true, but we mow it, and I do have a roller. But right now we're in winter weather. It just started turning green. We just had a freeze into the 20s about 3 weeks ago, believe it or not. So stuff is still surviving here. But I will let you know that our azaleas are starting to bloom, getting ready for the Masters. They're just starting up right now. I got bamboo, several different types of bamboo. There's the bamboo hole, believe it or not. And we even have some water if you get into the woods really deep, or if you hit it by the pool, but then you're going to get chewed out by the intendant. That'd be me for hitting it near the house. And
Now,
there's
when
the
you get
clubhouse way out
well, when you
there.
get oh, there is the clubhouse. Yeah,
Yep.
I remember having a few brewskis on that porch there, and
Yep.
looking out over the backyard golf when the sun's setting. And hey, question for you on putting. So, a lot of times, obviously, it's not a putting condition type surface that you would find at a regular golf course. But do you
That's why there's
recommend
9-inch
putting?
holes.
Well, that's right. Do you recommend using a putter or maybe 7-iron? What's your strategy there? Do you really need a putter, or do you need something up to get it up in the air and let it roll a little bit?
Well, when we mow them tight, believe it or not, you can use a putter. Now, it depends. Like, for example, on this green right here, I use the green loosely, it's St. Augustine grass, okay? But if I get out there, it's more like Zosha. And if I get way back there, then it's Bermuda. So we're not really cultivating the grasses here. It's survival of the fittest. Whatever grass does well, I leave it because none of it's being irrigated. It's just irrigated by the lovely Florida weather here. Unfortunately, when we go into May, usually at this period of time, the rain really doesn't start falling till more towards the end of May. So it'll be dry probably for about another month or two outside the irrigation pattern. But once it gets going, then it's got to be mowed at least about every 5 or 6 days because otherwise it'll take off on us.
Well, notice the fencing around your property there. I notice it's horse fencing.
Yes, it is.
But I know there's no horses, but I know there's horses for courses. But let's say if you hit your ball over the fence into the next yard that actually has a horse or a cow in it, do you get relief, or do you have to count that as out of bounds?
Fencing is out of bounds, John. Just like they're considered white stakes, only they're black stakes. And there's no argument where the fencing's at. It's
Well,
all the
there
way
are
around us.
some. I'm sure there's some animals that sneak in there in the middle of the night, some deer and God knows what else.
Deer, we got deer, bobcat, coyote, all sorts of little varmints, raccoons, weasels. I mean, you name it, we got it around here. Even got wild turkeys. There's like 2 or 3 flocks of wild turkeys here. I do have a deer stand set out back. We can do. I've done years of dog training here for hunting. So I'm on 15 acres, and even though we're in a gated community, it's very, very quiet here. And I also have a third of it is completely forested. So there's all sorts of things that I can do that nobody knows about.
So hey, Wild Bill, let's see your hat. Let's see
Aha.
that hat there. This is not just any hat. This is your Wild Bill's weather hat right here.
Yes, it is. Believe it or not, I found this on the internet. It's actually Seaside, Florida beach dogs. But it was easier than making my own hat. So it's
Well, think
Wild
about
Bill's
that
golf hat
because
now.
our show's sponsored by Sea Dog Brewery.
Right.
So
Kind of
there's a
close.
connection there. Maybe those ought to get together. Hey, what's the local rule in case you hit it in a pile of animal poop? Sounds like it's a virtual zoo or wild game preserve out there. What's the local rule in backyard golf for that? If you hit your ball in a big pile of poop out there?
It depends on how it lies, who I'm playing with, and what we're betting. So rules got to be discussed ahead of time.
So I would
But
recommend
not only do
stuff.
we have to worry about poop, you got to worry about armadillo holes, squirrel holes, bamboo rakings. I mean, all sorts of stuff come out. Occasionally, you might even hit it across a dead animal.
Well, let's go ahead and finish this up. Give us a quick little recap again on the Texas Children's Open in Houston, as far as what the weather's going to look like coming up for the
Looks
tour
like
players.
75 to 85 degrees Wednesday through Sunday. Winds are picking up on Wednesday. Looks like they're going to be between 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts even higher. It's going to be pretty much sunny, maybe a little bit of clouds. Rain chances are less than 10%. And it is going to be windy and dry. And things should be pretty interesting, John.
Well, that's great. So there you have it, everybody. That is Wild Bill Storoe's golf weather
Woohoo!
report, reporting to you from Gainesville, Florida. We didn't mention that earlier, but Gainesville, Florida is where this is located, in a secret location, undisclosed, but it's out there in
Undisclosed,
Gainesville, Florida.
outside the city limits. Better ask for
Well,
permission before you come play.
exactly. It is gated, so we can reject you if you don't behave. So with that,
Trespassers will be offered a shot.
unbelievable. So for Wild Bill Storoe, I'm John Rager. For On the Tee, Florida's Mic'd Up, and we'll see you next week for Wild Bill's Golf Weather Report. Take care, everybody.
Woohoo!